Hey, what's up, peeps? This is your man, Derek Terry, host of I'm Not Complaining, I'm Just Saying, where if you're going to complain, be prepared to bring some solutions to the table. Hey, welcome to episode 6 of season 10, the PG County effect. The PG County effect. I'm going to give a little small disclaimer. This episode, as well as the next episode, may be a little sensitive, or some people may get a little sensitive to the topics. The comments are mine alone, um, and they're not necessarily intended to offend anyone, but it's more or less to provide an education on what is currently happening in regards to Charles County, hopefully transitioning from a home rule form of government to a charter form of government. So, with that, I'm going to start my presentation. Give me a second. And I hope everyone is having a blessed day. And we're going to go ahead and get this started. Okay, so we can go past that. All right, so why does education matter? I've said this before. Education is the most powerful weapon that we can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. And I'm a firm believer in education and a firm believer that that is something that no one can take away from you. Education doesn't necessarily have to be about degrees. It can be about life experiences. It can be about um, something that you've seen and observed. It can be a variety of different things, but education is something no one can take away from you. So, once again, why does education matter? So let's look at PG County, since the topic is PG County effect. But I'm sorry, before we go to that, just real quick, I want to tell you what the charter board roles is. The task of the charter board members is to draft a charter that will change the present code home rule form of government to charter form of government for Charles County. The proposed charter will go before the voters for ratification at the 2024 general election, which is in November. Can't remember the date, but I know it's in November. Proposed charter shall include, but not limit to, the duties, power, rules, procedures, and structure of local government. Okay. This is what the charter board was tasked to do. Regardless if you agree with the 3-2 vote, it's irrelevant. This is what they were charged to do. This is what they're doing. And they're doing it under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of unnecessary criticism, because they're just only doing their job. So let's get into that. PG County effect. But before we get to that, let's look at a little history. So Prince George's County, which is county council, was formed in 1970, and as the county's official legislative body. The voters ratified the charter form of government on November 3rd of 1970. So charter has been in existence since 1970. Now, for those that are familiar with integration/segregation, or Jim Crow, the county's busing plan for racial integration was ordered by a federal court in 1973, but is also, if you look at it, it's giving credit or blame for the single most important cause of the flight of whites. So it could have been because of busing, it could have been something else, but I put it like this: Maryland or any other state in here is exempt from the mass exodus because of the integration. Just what it happened. I think it's a good thing, personally. It's just me, because at the end of the day, we need to be able to work together, and we shouldn't separate ourselves clearly based on race, and everyone should have equity and equality. And if you look, 40% of the whites who lived in Prince George since 1970 were gone by 1980. I bring this up because in our second episode, I'm going to tie all this together, but I wanted you to see at least a small historical context of PG County and how the form of government and where it's at now. So, right here, you have two former PG County employees. One worked for the police department, and one, I'm assuming, used to work for the public school system. I was told she doesn't work there anymore. Don't know, but either current, former, whatever you want to call it, they worked in this form of government, which is charter form of government, but they govern in the home rule. And you're going to understand why I brought that up. So one of the reasons is misinformation. This is the definition. So for those who don't understand, we're not talking about disinformation. We're talking about misinformation. So false or inaccurate information, especially which is deliberately intended to deceive. Yes, I'm talking to Commissioner Bowling because this is what I feel. It's evident if you look at all the posts. I'm saying you can't put stuff on your post that is false. Like, I don't know, the police department. No, it's not mentioned in the charter. Now, I can't speak for Commissioner Stewart because I don't see her page. I'm blocked. Don't really care. So if you happen to see it, you can share it with me. But for the most part, I don't see, if anything that she puts on there. That's her prerogative for what she wants to do. I could file and say, hey, you really can't block a constituent. But at the end of the day, do what you want because I don't follow anyway. All right. So this is a statement which is from Commissioner Bowling. Currently, the next election in 2026 will allow each district to choose their own commissioner. First election in history of the county where each district selects whom they want to represent them. I was kind of shocked when I moved here in 2006 that it wasn't even happening to begin with, which make no sense. And it was proposed to every one of them. And then all of a sudden they want to change it. But that's a whole different story. So now, continuing with his quote. Now think of a possible proposal to water down a county council of 7 members with lower salaries, increase substantially the salary of the executive, and essentially take away the diverse way of voting for your own 4 districts. This would be giving one person all the power and financial benefits and water down the unique perspectives of each area of the county. Real progress is learning from our mistakes and not re-electing people that continue to contribute to our challenges. Just my opinion from someone that worked in a charter government for over 20 years and is currently in a code rule form. So you worked in a charter government for 20 years. I want you to keep that in mind. As we get a little bit through this, you'll understand. But I do agree with him. Progress can be made if you learn from your mistakes and you reelect people that continue, that you don't reelect people that continue to contribute to the challenges. But you can do that in a charter form of government as well. As far as the lower salaries, false. There's nothing in the charter that is proposing lower salaries. So he threw out this before even getting the opportunity to even look at it, just to go ahead and feed people this misinformation, which is deliberate. Okay. Also, county exec doesn't have all the type of power that, for whatever reason, he is stating. We're going to get into that as well. So all this stuff ties in, and I'm going to show you how. All right. This is from one of, I guess, the no charter people. Vote no for charter unless you want continued unbridled growth, quadruple property taxes, which is false, government controlled by one person, which is false. Many people left PG because of the corrupt officials under a charter form of government. Is that what we want for Charles County? Okay. So for those who live in PG County, they're calling your officials corrupt. I've said this before, I don't know of any form of government, any religion, any race, whatever, that is exempt from corruption. Not one. I can't think of any. But we'll move on. Charter government was brought in by some counties just so they could make woke policies. Listen to that word, woke. Such as defund the police so they could spend the money elsewhere. Now they realize it was a bad plan and they already spent the money, so they had to increase taxes. Woke. Listen to that microaggression. Woke. I don't know who he's referring to, or she. And then you also have defund the police, which that never happened. Moving on. And then this one, charter government is one step from a dictatorship. I don't know anybody who has lived in Charles County that, and might be, but not anybody, I don't know anybody in my generation who has lived in a government which is that of a dictator. I, I don't know. If you are one, let me know, but I don't know of one. And I bring this up because our commissioner put this statement up. We cannot afford to let the invaluable wisdom, experience, and lessons learned from the past slip away from our visions of progress and advancement. Lead by example, not words. No charter, Charles, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is what, for lack of a better word, kind of pissed me off. When asked how fascism starts, and it's quote, Bertrand Russell replied, first, they fascinate the fools, then they muzzle the intelligent. Okay? Yes, if you were in that form of government. And let me tell you why I have a problem with this. It's a very foolish statement which lacked intelligence. Or I can reverse it. It was a very unintelligent statement, which was foolish. Because World History 101, and this is just in layman's term, I hope I spelled that right. A fascist is the political ideal where the government controls everything. People aren't allowed to say or do certain things without the approval of the government and or dictator. Please name me a charter form of government in in Maryland or anywhere in the United States where you see this. Where you see this. Now, I'm going to tell you where you actually may have heard of this. Okay? But before I get to there, Commissioner Bowling is comparing the charter form of government and their leaders, such as Montgomery County, Harford County, and yes, Prince George's County. The same counties that when we need something down the road, we're going to need those votes. And in my mind, you are calling their form of government fascist. And the leaders in which govern them, really, that's what you're doing. Because these right here, Mussolini of Italy, he's the father of fascism. Father. Okay? World History 101. If you study, you use this term, this is what this is associated with. Oh, don't forget about him, Hitler. It's also associated with him. Now, if I'm wrong, check me, please. But I guarantee if you look up that definition, you're going to see these two people's names in there glorified and highlighted. And this is what a sitting commissioner chose to use. To me, was just a piss poor choice of words and terms for a sitting commissioner to use. You can twist it any way you want. No, you didn't call anybody Mussolini or Hitler, but you might as well, because you used the term which is associated with them. Come on, man. Anyways, but just so we can educate, this is what the opposite of fascism is. Democracy, liberalism. Okay. You see the choice of words. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with the opposites is what I'm trying to figure out. But, this is the choice of words. World History 101. You're using terms that you don't know the clear definition for to apply it to the charter form of government and its leaders. Educate, people. Educate. But let me show you what, quote unquote, according to him and his followers, believe fascism to be. In PG County, this is what they currently have. I'm not going to go into what Charles County has. You know why? Because you live here, you already know what we got. If you don't live here and you haven't been here, it's because it's something that we ain't got or don't have. We're trying to be grammatically correct. So as you can see, I'm just going to list a couple things. They have 6 flags. They have the FedEx Field. It's really like a second home to my team, Dallas. That's our second home. But as you can see, they have FedEx Field. But this is in PG County, okay? They have the Fort Washington Park, which I believe was used for the Mexican War. Mexican War and Civil War. I think but I know it was you. I believe it was sometime around that. But I've been there. Didn't know it existed. I just went there for a photo shoot, and I was like, wow, never knew this was here. This is a national park. This is in PG County, right up the road. All right. Of course, Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center. Oh wow, that's in PG County. Man, I'm telling you, charter form of government sucks. If you got all this right now, just think about it. Man, charter form of government has this. We in home rule. We got way more than what they have. Way more. Let's see what else they have that, man, you know what? We don't need. Oh, they got Miller Farms. I've been down there. Now, when I used to eat donuts like that, they got the banging donuts, but they got a lot of fresh produce. Okay, that's right there, I believe now, Piscataway. Self-explanatory. I really don't need to go into detail. That wow, this is in PG County, people. This is in PG County. Man, how dare they have something like this in PG County and not in Charles? My goodness. Y'all see this? National Harbor? I believe that's the Capitol Wheel. There's a lot of other stuff in there. This is all in PG County. This is the form of government that has this and under our home rule. And you're going to find out which other counties have home rule in the next episode. But I want you to look at this. This is what the charter county form of government, PG County, Prince George's County, this is what they have. How dare they have these type of venues? How dare they? In Charles County, we don't have. Oh, but I go further. A sports and learning complex. You can do indoor track, they have outdoor track. I don't have all that. How dare they? There's also a learning center. Kids can go there and work on STEM and all this other stuff. How dare PG County have this? Man, that is bad for Charles County. They got environmental stuff too. This is Bladensburg. I've been out there. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice, very beautiful, peaceful. If you get an opportunity, it's in PG County too. I wouldn't even go up there neither if I was you. I would just stay here in Charles County because we do have, I believe it's called Mallows Bay or something like that. So we do have some very nice, and I'm being upfront and honest, some natural tour sites that can be visited. But no one's rushing down here to go see it. Okay, just letting y'all know. So I'm not going to list all the pictures, but I'm just going to show you a couple other things that PG County has the audacity to have because they're a charter form of government. University of Maryland College Park, Bowie State University, HBCU, Bowie Bay Sox. Modern walkable communities. What do we mean by that? That means that if I was to leave my house, I probably would have to walk no more than a half mile, if that, to did I spell restaurants wrong? That may have been a French way. But anyways, restaurants, bars, grocery stores, meeting places, essential needs. Modern walkable communities, okay? I don't think Charles County has that. Well, they may have some walkable communities, but the area or the storefronts that are there are not modernized. They're not up to date. PG County has a lot of these, but how dare they have them? How dare they have them? Make people walk a half mile or a mile at the most to a grocery store, to a meeting place, to a bar, restaurant. How dare they? How you ought to be ashamed of yourself, PG County. Oh, but they have Wegmans, Harris Teeter, Whole Foods. That's probably where they walking to. I think we got one. Well, I thought wrong. We don't. I'm not gonna get into detail why, but we don't. Multiple vineyards and wineries. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Multiple museums. Yeah, I think we have some museums. I think we got actually there's one, a veteran one down 301. That's a nice museum. I haven't been to the one where the person who assassinated Lincoln and went to, I guess, the doctor, whatever his name is. Apparently that's a museum, which it may be. I have no desire to go there, but feel the need. You can research it for yourself. What else? Dave and Buster's. Wow. Multiple entertainment venues. Yeah. Robust recreational and parks program. Yeah. Multiple private, county, national museums, and/or parks. Oh, I got a repeat of everything on here. Joint Base Andrews, military base. They do a lot of things. We do have a military base, but it's not necessarily a base where there's a lot of stuff for the community to do. It's a different type of base. Just letting you know that's a different type of base. But we do have a base. If you have the opportunity to go visit things like that, we do have a base. Not PAX, but Indian Head Naval Base. Showplace Arena. And what I found out is that I don't know when, but before North Point High School was built, Charles County students would go to Prince George's County, which is this charter form of government, but also this fascist, I guess, type of government for their graduations. Y'all need to make that make sense for me. I ain't never heard of that in my life. Anybody going to a different county, let alone a different school for graduation. I graduated from my high school. I would have stayed at my high school to graduate. If I had to go to Hartford Community College, graduate, then so be it. But I could not imagine us going to Baltimore County or Baltimore City to graduate when we graduated from Hartford County Public Schools. But hey, this is what Charles County did in this charter form of government, which is fascist or whatever it may be, according to some people who portrayed it that way, because you chose the word. You chose the word. So they also have a county executive. So someone, put this comment up here, and I'm gonna be, I kind of took people's comments. I took their name out. I could have put their name up, but I was like, you know what? I ain't getting all that. But this is what they said. County executive. How's that working for our neighboring counties that had that form of government? They're only talking about PG County because there is no other neighboring county that has the charter form of government that I can think of. It's PG County. But guess who took a picture with this person who has all this power, who's Angela Alsenbrook, who's currently PG County county exec, but she's running for senator. All of a sudden now we buddy. Now I can't speak for her campaign, but I'm like this. Now you smiling in my face, but you've been talking trash about my county, been talking trash about my form of government. She talking trash about your people. That's just me. It's my opinion. All right, enough of that. So, as corrupt and negative as Prince George's County charter form of government has been portrayed, why did these two commissioners choose to work there for years and now they want to be all sanctified? Well, I'm sorry. So I want y'all to think about that because I'm going to end this episode because I need a little bit more time for episode 7 because it's going to really lay out why I'm getting to this, But before I go, I just want everyone to know that this episode, nor the next episode, is not intended to bash the person as an individual. Is as within their position. Okay. I have a lot of respect for Commissioner Bowling, have a lot of respect for Commissioner Stewart. I don't necessarily agree with everything they say, but I won't allow anyone to go on there and say anything derogatory about them or any other elected official. I just won't do it. That's just me. So the question is, why did the two commissioners choose to work there for years? And now they want to be all sanctified. Well, I'm going to let you know. This is just me. Hopefully you can hear this. And we're just going to leave it. We're going to close with this.
Maryland residents, do you know
I guess as soon as we get past this little commercial.
$500 from the state to help your child achieve their future dreams?
No.
Education is key to building a bright future.
There we go.
Whether your child...
But this is why. OJ's kind of put this very, very simple. So if you're going to talk about a government that you worked in for 20 years, at what point was it too corrupt, too bold up in one power that you said, you know what, I should leave? Well, guess what? They didn't leave. They stayed they stayed and they could have left. Okay? But hey, please watch episode 7. And I guarantee you, we'll put it like this. You're going to be in for a treat. And maybe it'll put some things to rest and say some things. I'm going to say some things that people, they really want to say, but I'm going to say it for you. So, hey, we're going to get ready to go. But until then, peace and blessings. Peace.
Blaze the path.